evening. And I believe it's 6 in the evening in the Netherlands. Okay, so it's very exciting. So what, yes, as Nicole said, I will be also, we already had an orientation of cultural awareness, but we're going to try to also situate it more in Guatemala, and particularly the group we will be working with to be able to understand where everybody's coming from and what to expect in the meetings. And here with me, and they will be joining, are the volunteers from Guatemala, and we'll get a chance to be in break rooms mixed together so you can all meet. That's going to be, I think, another plus of this wonderful program. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and you can actually, I don't have, once I start presenting, I don't have the ability to look at my chat because I'm in an iPad. So if you have questions, maybe Nicole can kind of be there looking at the chat, and you can interrupt me.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So this is Guatemala, and you probably already looked it up in the map for those who are not from Guatemala. And we are just south of Mexico and north of El Salvador and Honduras, and we will be working particularly in Guatemala City, which is a 3 million people city, the great metropole, and it's the biggest city in Guatemala. And when I was young and beautiful, now I'm old and beautiful. I was in Europe actually backpacking, and that's where I met my first husband, and he said to me, "Oh, you are from Guatemala?" "Yes." "And what city are you from?" And at that time, I was not at the place I am right now, seeing the world. and I said, "What do you mean, what city?" "The city." To me, it was just the city of Guatemala. That was it. You know, and because most of the other cities are rural areas, and there is this, kind of like chip in the shoulder about being in Guatemala City, which is still predominant in some people. So, just kind of sharing it. Of course, I'm not there anymore, uh, but in mentality. But that is one of the ways Guatemala City is seen. Okay. So that is something important to know. This is Guatemala City. Of course, seen from a view mostly of the financial enterprise hotel area, but the real Guatemala is when you go into the different areas of the city, and then you can really see the big disparity that there is of income and of opportunities amongst the people that are with you next to each other. That so that is something that you need to be aware of. So approximately 51% of the population is estimated to live below poverty line. So one of the things that I usually say is, like, for example, in places like in in countries that are economically more advanced, you go to a restaurant, and whoever is helping you at the restaurant has the opportunity to one day come back to this restaurant and sit down and be taken care of as well, in most case scenarios, or will go back to their house using the same means of transportation that probably some of the people they are helping in at the table. It is not necessarily the case in Guatemala. That is where you completely see the disparities, and it's something that right now, again, we need to be aware of, because we're going to the population we're going to work with, and I'm going to go in more depth about that, are kids that are in that probably less fortunate situation. Okay. And so this is going to be amazing for them. And I'm sure they're going to be super positive about it. So almost 23% of the population have income below the extreme poverty line. And the minimum wage in Guatemala is 3,000 quetzales. Quetzales is our currency. The quetzal is the national bird as well. And which it's equivalent to $400 a month. And not all jobs pay the lawful minimum wage, which is, you cannot believe it happens, because that's why there's a law there, but that's how it is. Okay. So poverty is especially prevalent in rural areas in North, Northwestern, and Southwest, and occurs primarily among the poorly educated and indigenous member of our population. And the culture is just amazing. 22 different linguistic groups, and with so much richness, and so, but services and education have not reached everyone, and this is what we want to have changed. Okay. 2018, Guatemala continues to face systematic poverty, inequality, discrimination, exclusion, and high levels of impunity. In 2018, the country was in the position 127 of Human Development Index, the second one lowest in the region of Latin America. It dropped 2 points because of gender inequality, as well as social and economic inequality. So this is also a terrible statistic. From January to June 2018, 51,110 pregnancies of girls and teenagers were registered, included 1,400 on ages 10 to 14, and most of them by own members of the family. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to also talk to you a little bit is how the education system works in Guatemala. We have 12, we have, well, actually 11 to 12 years of education, depending on what path you take. But let's say 12 years of education, 6 of elementary, and then the junior high and high school, let's say. So the students that we are going to be working with are the students at the last year of school. So the seniors, let's say, okay? And specifically the group that are going to be the recipients of these 1,000+ scholarships are going to be from schools that are either night schools or weekend schools. So they are going to be students that usually work during the week, and that's why they need to study either on weekends or night. Or they are also students that have dropped out of school and now have come back and are studying. So they are not minors anymore or underage. They our students will be particularly the schools that are weekends and night are going to be mostly from areas that are what it's called the gray city, which is, in the city, kind of like what we would call, I don't know if in Europe, but in the US, like the inner city, except that here is not, downtown, but it's more like the area surrounding the metropole, usually in the ravines where, sometimes houses are kind of hanging from the cliffs. So this is a picture of Villanueva. But also at the same time, I'm not showing you this in a pitiful way, but this is the situation. But they're proud of also where they are. They're proud of every wall they have been able to put on their, on their little piece of land. And it's a place they live where many challenges are faced, and many people also want to move probably to a better situation, but this is the situation they live in. So, and here, for example, are these are pictures took from the web. Hopefully they're fine, but these are the schools. This is the Escuela Oficial para Adultos Jornada Nocturna, means it's like the public school for adults, and we're working all public schools, because here there's a big system also of private schools. To give you an idea, the average number of years that a person in Guatemala studies is 7, only 7 years. So only 80 right now. We're about 82% of the students on age for elementary are in school. So that means we have 20% unschooled children, and when they move to the higher levels, it drops dramatically. And in the last 3 years, it's mostly covered by private, not public, which means that more people are marginalized from education. Okay, so the kids that are here in this program are doing an extra effort to complete their high school, because not only everything is stacked against them, but they are also working and studying. So these are superhero kids that we're going to work with. And I say kids, but we probably will find from 17 to 24 or something like that. Okay, so these are superhero kids that decided, hey, I think I can do something else if I'm educated, and they're going for it. And in this particular year where the pandemic has hit us, it is even more so that they are so into their studies, because they could have just completely dropped it. Because obviously also the gaps have been, as has been said in many forums and studies, have been marked so much more because of the pandemic. Because all the people that don't have access to the technology, particularly in education, are being left out or are lagging. So the kids here, most of them are not necessarily taking school online, virtually. So they're not necessarily super used to what we're going to do. How it has been done is that the teachers either send like worksheets through WhatsApp, which is very used here in Guatemala, or through or they take them to the school, they post on the bulletins the homework or whatever they need to do, and then they take it. Or also the government has launched a page called Aprendo en Casa, I study from home, and they are giving through TV and different media some capsules of learning micro lessons and things like that. So it really has been a great effort. There was a time, I forget what year it was, but there was during the armed conflict, that schools were suspended, and there were also some strikes and things like that. And so all the kids won with a decree. They didn't have to do anything. They just passed it. So this year, everybody was like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have, they're going to let us win just by decree without doing anything. Unfortunately, they didn't. I mean, obviously, I think the bar was lowered because you're going to have to understand when they bring their work that it's not quite there at the level you want it. But they have encouraged kids to do go out and study. So the kids that now are going to be here, like I said again, they're superhero hero students. Okay, so that's wonderful. I mean, they might be in conditions of not so good economic conditions, but obviously they have great resilience, motivation, and pride. So that's fantastic. Here I'm showing you some of the pictures of what it is. You will one of the things that has happened here in education, and one of the things you will find out that it was interesting, because that day that I was with you on Saturday, you all had your cameras on. I moved to another the meeting, and here in Guatemala we tend to have our cameras off more off than on. And but it's because you get a glimpse too, for various reasons. I think it could be. But one thing that I want to point out is that definitely now with this, you go into people's homes, and sometimes people might be self-aware of, or about their homes. So that's something that you need to we will encourage them to have their cameras on, because I think for pronunciation, for all the participation, it's better. But you might encounter that people might not necessarily be willing all the time to open their cameras again, and hopefully they will. And so one of the things I wanted to suggest was for everyone, all of us Guatemalans and from the Netherlands, to kind of also be aware of that, in the sense that where we handle and when we do our presentation, that our background is subtle, not too elaborate, or any, kind of be aware of that. And also value everybody's place where they are, which I'm sure you will, because you will see all sorts of different situations. Okay. These are some of the schools where the students will be from. Students usually wear uniforms. I don't think they will be wearing their uniforms when they're there, but some of them might, because I've seen some interactions of kids where when they are in the school situation, they might wear their uniform, and that gives them a lot of pride, and that's fabulous. So encourage, or you're welcome to congratulate that, or things like that. Okay. Why do they want to learn English? They want to learn English for two main reasons. One is to go to the US. They want to migrate to the US because that the conditions are harsh. And the other one, which it might seem to our eyes that it's like, what? But because they want to work in a call center. Here in Guatemala, the call center industry started in around 2006, with the biggest push maybe 2008. And it has come to be a great first job, or sometimes career for some for young kids, and sometimes not also so young, but it is, of course, you can say it's kind of like, it's sort of like a sweatshop. Is that the expression? I think. But technical, and that's also, there's a lot of controversy around it. But really, for kids that probably right now are selling cellular cases on street corners, and if you get the high school degree and you know how to speak English, you can change from that to this, which is a huge step. and they want to do this. Okay, this is their next great step, and probably once they get there, then they can see there are other steps, right? So we should also kind of, come from that standpoint to, okay, this is great. The call centers pay above minimum wage. They give them social security, they give them vacations, they accept kids with tattoos, which is a lot of things that we're going to find out. That here in Guatemala, there are various institutions that don't accept kids if they have tattoos or they have long hair or they come from a certain city or certain zone or area, while call centers do. They're so much more inclusive than the norm. So for them, it's a great step forward. And this is one of the big things. Hopefully we'll be able to get a good amount of them to the level where they can already be accepted. Probably they go then into a finishing school or but they already start getting paid for that training. So that's amazing. Or other ones, maybe we won't get them quite there, but they will have enough that maybe they can continue by themselves and then get there. Okay. So this is it. And this is just a little analogy just to kind of ponder about it, because sometimes we might, the vision one has depends on how high you can see, how high you are, that lets you have a better vision of everything. So like right now I'm sitting and I'm looking out my window and I can see all the way to a lake and I can see a little bit of the lake here from where I'm sitting. But if I go 4 floors above, still there is in this building, I can see more of that lake that I can see from here. But obviously if I'm at the first floor, I have no clue there's a lake over there. So what we need to do is we need to get them to the next step, wherever they are. So we cannot necessarily go about setting expectations of the rooftop vision, but we can and we will accompany them to get to the next level. Okay? Does that sound exciting?
Yes, it does.
All right. Very good. Okay, so now I want to tell you a story. I'm Mrs. Storyteller. I'm going to put my camera for a little bit to start the story. Okay. Okay, I'm here. Oh, I see more people, and I'm so excited. Come on, you Guatemalan guys, turn on your cameras. All right. Okay. So I want to tell you this story. This story happened in 2011. 2011. And I remember distinctively it was the day of the Super Bowl. I'm a football fan. It was February. So we were, doing another type of activity, not education related, in this area of Guatemala where that I was telling you, there's the gray city, and they call it the gray city because here our constructions, as you saw, are not wood, but concrete. And so the gray city is people that have their homes, but they haven't had the extra money, let's say, to do the painting and whatever of the house. So then the whole city is gray, right? So we were here in this area, and it was again like kind of like a ravine, and the houses are coming down. And so we're doing an activity there with the kids. I think it was around Valentine's Day, and so we were celebrating Valentine's Day with piñatas and clowns and what have you. And one of the women in the community, they said, "Oh, come on! I want to take you to my house because the year before." During Christmas and that area, there's a lot of firecrackers and things like that, and her house caught fire. So so the organization I was with had given her some material to rebuild her house. So she wanted to show us that that she had, kind of rebuilt it and this and that. So so we're like, okay, let's go. And I was thinking, okay, it's time for this kickoff, but let's go. And so, so I started, we started walking down into the ravine, to this little, because there's no cars, obviously, it's just walking paths. And so we get to her house, and it's this, little hut with the dirt floor, and, but they take pride on their house. So so she's like, come in, and so hello and this and that. Oh, it's great, you've done a great job. And then she said, I want you to meet my daughter. And okay, let's meet your daughter. And so we're going to, just like turn a little bit to the area where they're cleaning the dishes and things like that. And there, in this context, there's this super, top of the line clothes washer, a washer machine. And I was like, okay, wow, this is amazing. How cool. Congratulations. This is beautiful. And she's like, oh yeah, thank you. My daughter bought it for me, and now I can wash clothes for the people around me. And I don't have to strain my back as much as I did before, and this and that. And I said, oh, that's great. And what does your daughter do? And then I was biting my tongue as I was saying it, But then she comes back and she says, well, she got a scholarship from CIAV and Transactel, which Transactel is a call center. And now she answers calls in English. And so she was able to buy me this washer machine. So at that time, we also had a program where we were doing English teaching alongside with the call centers. So it was like, they were preparing students to get directly into the job. And so when she said that, because she didn't know I worked at CIAV, I was like, and the person that was next to me was looking at me like, okay, she's going to faint here, because it's amazing to, you're impacting lives, but you don't realize how much, at this point, I just had that great opportunity to actually see how great an impact it was. And then I asked her, but this scholarships, I told her, I understand that they were given to people that already had a certain level of English, I said, because that's how it was at that time. We were not starting from zero. And because, and this is somewhat important to say, at that time when the call centers came, they were just accepting with a certain level. They want them already at that level, and they were helping people from mid to high. Now, because they have more jobs and they need more people, now they accept them at entry level, help them out. So that's where, where we're now. So now we're able to start from beginners. So I said, that she had to have some sort of level. Where did she learn? And she said, well, we, with our husband, they live near the dumpster. So they go and collect wire. And they peel off the plastic from the wire, and there's copper inside. So we peel off, and then we sell the copper. And then with the copper money, then we were able to pay her a school where they had a program from CIAV. And I was like, No way. Okay, now I'm really going to faint here, right? Because she was in a school where indeed we had a program with that school, and it was a private school, and she was doing this whole effort to be able. And so this is how much we can change lives with just the English language here in Guatemala. High school diploma and English language can just absolutely create a great impact. So I'm going to now show you the picture. You kind of got a glimpse of it there because I wasn't careful. So here's the picture. This is the sister of the of of the girl that was, you know, with the scholarship. So and there, see in my hand, I have a little plant because she had planted outside her house. She had planted some oregano, and I was like, and so she had given me some of the oregano to plant, and I still have the oregano plant here in my balcony. And every time I look at it, you know, of course, I get reminded of this, and it motivates me to keep on doing anything and everything we can do at different levels. So, yeah, pretty cool. I love it. Every time I see it, I get excited again. Okay, so are you excited?
Sure.
Very good.
Yes,
Okay. Now, this is so I have some news for you. Now that you're very excited, the program is going to start the 2nd of November. Okay. Classes will start the 2nd of November. So only 1 month off. Normale. Okay. Okay. So no problem. They are giving tablets and internet to the kids. So, you know, of course, the tablets are not yet there, and this and that, which, you know, all the processes and what have you. So they're giving out the tablets in these days, and we were told we'll start classes 2nd of November. Okay. So I understand that this, you know, could be that some of you might not be able to do all the weeks. We also still have to figure out what's going to happen if we're going to go over in January. It might be that we can accompany them through this program, yes or no, I don't know. Right now, we will you know, keep the weekends until the final weekend that we had said in December, and because I don't think we can get them to study more than 4 hours a day. That'd be too much. So so that means if we have one less month, instead of 5 modules, we'll only be able to do 3 modules in this year. So we will have to, hopefully we can get them motivated enough, the kids, and that the ministry will be able to also extend the use of the tablets, because the tablets, they will have to give them back at the end of the program. So hopefully we can get them to keep them, or if not, maybe we'll just have to keep on going with the kids that are able to figure out a way to connect after that. So we'll kind of keep working on that. That's, you know, on our end. We'll try to get as much exposure and you know, as we can for them. All right. So so our first meeting with students will be on the what is it, Nicole? The
will be the
7th
of November and the 8th of November, so that weekend.
Okay, so the first meeting with students will be the 7th and 8th of November. But that's okay. It also will give us more time to get to know each other and figure out the more of the you know, facilitating / teaching um, um, skills. Okay, so we won't meet next Wednesday because we will have another volunteer call this weekend, and then we'll give them time to catch up, and then we'll meet on the
21st.
The 21st, yes.
on the 21st. So we will meet on the 21st. We will meet on the 28th, and hopefully maybe even on the 28th we will do like a at some point of time a Zoom or a live where the students are also there, and we can also kind of welcome them and let them know so that they're ready for you on the 7th. And then from them on we'll meet on Wednesday. So on the 21st and 28th we'll go about teaching facilitating skills, and it should be pretty fun and interesting and helpful for this and any other thing you take on. And then on the first Wednesday of November we will already be talking about our first the guide of the first conversation practice. We will have students sign up via also that Cali thing, because we were told by their principals that some of them, like they study Sundays because they work Saturdays, or that kind of thing. So we figured that it'd be better that they sign up for the hour that they know they can attend. Okay, so but we will get all that done, and you will have your group. Okay, so any questions on this part before we go to the breakout rooms?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Ross.
When will we get notified on which classes at what times we will participate?
I think basically whatever you signed up for through the Cali, if you haven't, but then you should, but you're saying you did. So basically whatever you signed up, we'll assign you students.
Yeah, so the time slot you have now is your time slot. And then the students will, depending on how many teachers signed up to teach during that hour, that's how many time slots there are for students to sign up as well. So you will also, that won't change. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks.
Well,
I got
must
another
say-
question. Oh,
Go ahead,
know.
Vivian.
okay, thanks. I have a question about the meeting on the 21st. How late is that going to be? Is it going to be 6 o'clock again?
Yes, we're aiming, so we're doing all the sessions at 6 p.m. for
Okay.
European time for volunteers,
Okay.
and 10 a.m. in Guatemala. So
Okay.
that'll be every
Hello.
Wednesday, that'll be the hour.
Hello. Hola, profe, buenos días.
Fantastic. Okay,
Yes,
so what
yes.
we're going to do right now is going to be, do breakout rooms, but we're going to be mixed, obviously, with the countries.
Estoy, permítame.
And then we will come back and I will give you a little tour of the classroom platform, so that we'll send you your invitation to be part of a classroom, and then you can start kind of exploring a little bit and see our professional actors and actresses, and so anyway, are you ready, Nicole?
Yes, 1 second, and I'll make this session. Do you want to be in one as well, Cynthia?
Sure.
Let me just make sure that they're mixed.
And now in the breakout rooms, we're just gonna introduce each other and have a little chat, or?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the goal. So for you guys to get to know each other as volunteers and meet different people from the program.
Okay.
I don't know if there are questions. Did we put the questions or no?
Not yet. But I think I can do that when this Zoom call starts. I think that works.
And how much time do we have so that everybody knows how many minutes they have to introduce or something?
Is 15 minutes good? I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll start the session. The sessions. There we go.
So here I go.
Yeah, there we go.
I am going to put my screen here. Oh. Okay, screen start. Okay, so we are doing everything. We're going to use Google Classroom as kind of like our learning management system. And we will use, if you want to already download them, although, you know, once I put you in the class too, you will have this little exercise. I know it's at the beginning. Where, but it's in Spanish. Well, but here, if you go in, you have the apps that we use, that in case you're doing it in your phone, then this would be some apps to have. Google Classroom, Google Chat, Edpuzzle, Flipgrid, and PDF Element. Those would be some useful apps to have. They will also open on the browser if you're in the computer, so you don't need to have the apps, but those would be some good apps to have. And the list is here in this post. Okay, so let me backtrack. So this is the if you have not used Google Classroom, we will send you an email to invite you to the classroom, and you have to start from the email. So if you go directly to Google Classroom, even though if you are linked, if you are signed in to your account, usually it won't show up the class unless you come from the email, from the link in the email. So you start in the email that we send you, and it takes you to Classroom, and it'll take you to a place like this that it won't have as many classrooms, but it will say join or unirse. And then you say yes, and then you go into the classroom, and it will come up with this first that it says either stream, or in Spanish it would say tablón. I don't know what it would say in German, in case Linda has it in German, but so you will have the stream here, and this is the video. I forgot if I think I sent it to our Guatemalan volunteers on the via the chat last time, but if not, it's here. But this is in Spanish. So, and this talks about the methodology and the platform, but we'll talk about the platform right now, and we'll talk about the methodology in the next session that we have. So whoever can or wants to watch it would be great. Okay. So once this is just like our bulletin board, and then we go into classwork. And in classwork, this is where everything is. So as you see in the left area is where we have our, you know, contacts, let's say by each one of this is a link. So you can go directly to one of the units, or you can have it all as one role. So the way it works is we have, and okay, let's see. The first thing that students need to do when they come in is where it says here, libro de texto descargar, download. So we need to download this text, and this is a 70-page textbook that you will need to work with the exercises that are on this classwork page. Here, some of the other things that we have is we have the class drive folder. So like, for example, the book will download directly to your drive. The book is for anyone to keep. so it won't disappear with the program. They can download it, they can print it, they can do with it however they want. But they do need to have it alongside they're watching the videos. So how does it work? This is course 1, and hopefully we'll get to give them 5 courses. So each course has 9 to 7 units. Course 1, 2, 3 have 9 units. Course 4 has 7 units, and course 6, course 5 I forgot, but also 7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so they need to do this whole one course. It's 40 hours of study, including the 2 tests. So how does it go? You're going to start it from the bottom to the top, as if you're filling a glass of water. So we're filling it with knowledge, right? So we're going to, each unit has kind of like the same structure. It starts with a vocabulary. Unit 1 is the only one that doesn't have a video vocabulary. The other ones do. So it has a vocabulary, which is on video. So it has images, and it has it. If you go about it, you'll see that there's hardly any translation. There's probably 98% English and 2% Spanish, if any. The instructions are some of the instructions are in Spanish, and very few things are sometimes translated in the exercise, but it is done in such a way that it comes from the easy to the difficult, from the known into the unknown, and step by step. It's like, for example, in the vocabulary, we show them a picture of a cat, and then we say cat. We don't need to tell them this is a gato, or however it is said in another language. They already know that it's what's the object. So we only give them the word in English with the image. And in the first courses, all the words that we use, or most of the words, are very concrete. So we're able to put them in a picture. Then they also have their vocabulary audio, which they're encouraged to keep with them when they go out running or they do stuff, walking on the bus or what have you, so that they keep getting this exposure. One of the big things, and we'll go into this next class and it's in the video, but the difference with learning English as a second language or learning English as a foreign language. Here, they're only exposed to English the time of the class, so we need to make it as much English as possible. Then we have grammar, and every unit starts with grammar, with a grammar presentation. Not because we will ask them grammar questions, but because we set there the objective of the lesson. What are we going to practice? And then we're going to practicing that structure. So the exercise is going to put that exercise in practice again, and then the quiz is going to evaluate how you use the structure. It's not going to ask you, what is the verb in simple form, whatever, no. But the grammar videos are also there. That's one of the really cool things, that the grammar videos don't disappear as you watch them, as in sometimes other platforms. So all the content is available to you the whole course. Then there's an introductory dialogue. I'm sorry, for some reason, I have such a hard time with the touch when I'm in the teacher mode. When it's in the student mode, it just clicks right there, but I don't know. But anyway, but you'll get in there, and inside each of these little tabs, there's stuff. And then the introductory dialogue, it's also a dialogue that sometimes students would say, oh, the introductory dialogues, they go faster than the exercise. And that's how it should be, because that is the little practice we have of listening like everyday conversation. And they are supposed to interact with the introductory dialogue, because it pauses and it says repeat, and then it pauses and you're supposed to do the first role, kind of role play. Then there's the exercises, and there's tons of videos inside here too, where it's drills and question answers and substitution dialogues, but you're supposed to interact with the video. Then comes the workbook, which is a PDF, but it's an editable. That's why you need the PDF element. Sometimes, that works better. so that you can fill it out. And we also have the audiobook, that everything that's in the book, it's in the audiobook. And so students are encouraged to listen to it all the time. I mean, after doing the workbook. Like all the time, I mean, like use it. You have your 2 hours of doing it, but then you have extra audio pieces or, you know, resources to kind of keep having this exposure. The answer key is the answer key to the workbook. And then the quiz is the unit quiz, and they're allowed to do it as many times until they make at least 80%. And the quiz also has the you know, kind of feedback in each question. So that's what they do. They go each unit. So because they're working 4 hours a day, they're going to do 1 unit per day, because each one of these units, you do it in 4 hours. So by the time they reach the first week, the first time they're going to be with you, they're going to have finished unit 5. And so you will work, and we will give you the guides and everything, and work on the structures that they've worked on these 5 units. And then the next week, they will have their exam. And they'll keep on working on unit 6 through 9. And then the next time you meet, you will work with them whatever they have worked on from unit 6 to 9. Then they'll do their final exam, and then we will activate course 2 for them, and the same thing. Because it'll take them 2 weeks to finish each unit, course. So that's how it goes. We will have teachers that are non-English speakers that will be working with them on motivate them to turn in their quizzes and turn in their workbooks and things like that. Kind of like, how are you doing? I saw you didn't upload this, and things like that. Not so much to answer questions, but which there's actually also kind of like that possibility to to help in that. But anyway, so that's how it goes. It's wonderful, and this is 40 years of experience, and here we have Maria Teresa that she taught at CIAV at the beginning of her career. And how many years ago, Teresa? I know she's still there, but this is 40 years of experience that now we have put them, in this new possibility, and we're super excited about it, and it's already working quite a bit. See here, like just in this classroom, we have this amount of students. These are, people that are passing through, and we have, various courses once, and they're passing through course 2 and going to course 3 and things, and already, very excited about how the program is working in this online version. All right. So any questions?
No. No.
So we will, for those that
I have to practice a little bit more using the technology, using Meet. I have been using Zoom only at school. And so now I have to get to know Meet a little bit more. No, Classroom, isn't it?
Classroom.
Whatever we are going to be. But
yes.
It's a good thing we're going to start in November, so that way I will have time to really get into it.
Fantastic. And I love your flag, Teresa.
Well, I had the Tecumang and all of them in September.
Ah.
We are already in October.